my students, I'm going to be walking you through the instructions for your review activity this week, which is based on the travels of Ibn Battuta. And you're going to do a trip advisor project. So what you have here is a website, and as I'll show you in more detail in a minute, you're going to walk through this, clicking the links here, and follow the path of Ibn Battuta on his journeys. And as you go through this, we're going to use Google My Maps again. Now, last time there were some issues in exporting and importing, so I'm going to make it very simple this time. So this is what you need to do in preparation for this assignment. First of all, make sure you're logged into your school Google account, and then go to My Maps, and it'll take you to your own map page. Now, last time we did this thing where I shared it with you and it was not owned, and you had to move it over to owned, and it was a big pain in the rear. So we're not going to do that now. To simplify it, when you log into your My Maps, you're just going to go over here to create a new map right here, and you're going to name it your name, like that, save it. And then what I would do in preparation is go down here and pick a better base map. Like, I like this one because of the contrast between the land and the sea and so forth. So this is what you're going to do. Now, you're going to start over here where Ibn Battuta's travels began. When you go through this, you're going to read here through his account, and the italicized parts are the things he actually wrote. And you're going to make a TripAdvisor entry by going to the map. For example, he starts in Morocco, so we want to pinpoint someplace in Morocco, and that will be your first point. On each of these points, you're going to have to write something down here. Write a little bit about the place, like you're making an entry for what this place is like, but I also want you to focus on things that you learned in class. Almost every one of these stops has something that we learned in class. Let's look up here for an example. So if you're going through this reading of his beginning here, you'll see things such as the Hajj, or the pilgrimage to Mecca. You'll see other things down here, such as caravan, and you know what a caravan is, and it's connected to things that we learned about with land-based trade. And anything that has to do with something that we learned before, and you would just mention that in the context of its topic. For example, once you've made an entry here, then you'll go to the next place, and then he goes to Egypt. So back on your map, you'll take things from Morocco over to Egypt. So you start over here and take him over to Egypt, to Cairo specifically, and then you don't really have to name that. And when you get to the destination over here, you'll read what Ibn Battuta saw when he was in Egypt and look for anything in here that we learned. So you'll make a TripAdvisor entry for things that, just basic things about the place he saw. But I mean, there are things in here that you should know from the CED, and I'm kind of giving you a few away right now, just to give you an idea. For example, he describes the city's many mosques, colleges, and hospitals. You could put that in the Dar al-Islam there is an incredible exchange of science and knowledge, and that's what led to Cairo or Egypt having these things. We talked about, well, here's the 5 pillars of Islam. Or you could talk about Sufis up here that we saw. And Sufis, of course, were one of the means of the spread of Islam. So you could mention that. So embedded in almost all of these, you'll find something that we learned, and the idea is just you're going to kind of use his journey to reinforce things that you learned. Now, so your map will go much further than this. It will follow through the different steps. Now, when you go to share this with me, first of all, you're going to go to this share button, not to share it, but just to turn off the restricted. So you go here and you'll change it to anyone with a link. So you go there and hit done, and then now that you've kind of freed it up, the way you share this, if you remember from last time, is to go up here and to say embed on my site and copy that code. All right, so we'll copy that code, and this is how you turn your lesson in. You go to It's Learning, and you'll see the assignment here, and to answer the assignment, you'll click down there, and what you'll do here is look for that embed code, click the embed code, and then you'll just paste it right there, and then insert it, and here's your map that you'll turn into me. And when you submit it, you'll see the picture, the image, so I can walk through this and grade it and look for everything. So that's how we're going to do this. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email. This will be a good review. You'll see things, you'll see modes of transportations, you'll see just foods, things that we've mentioned, and I've specifically selected the excerpts from his travel log because they have content from this class embedded in it. So there you go, and good luck on the test this week.